And if you want to understand a work of art, you have to, first of all, you have to actually read the thing. You can't base it on what it's about. You have to go actually bite into it. You have to actually sit there. You have to think, when was this created? What was the political atmosphere in which it was created? And then on top of that, what is it saying? What is it saying? How does it make me feel? That's a very important question when you talk about art. How does it make me feel? Right? Do I come out of this feeling good? Do I come out of this feeling bad? Do I come out of this? What does it make me want to do? That's a really good question when you're looking at a piece of art. Because I've used this example many times. V for Vendetta was one of the most revolutionary movies that came out during the Bush years. That movie, at the time that it came out, to say what it said, it was an FU to the neocons, and it was a call for revolution in the streets against the police state, against anti-Islamic bigotry, against the Christian right and the evangelicals that were the base. V for Vendetta was a call for insurrection. It was go out and sacrifice for what's right, stand up to the police state, don't trust the mass media. And the way it ended with that final scene of V for Vendetta, I cannot watch the clip of that without getting into tears. It is so amazing. V for Vendetta. And yes, Natalie Portman at the time was a huge supporter of Israel. Yes, that's true. And yes, at the time that it was made, and left adventurism, it's promoting left adventurism. And we as Marxists do not believe in left adventurism. We believe only the people are the makers of history, that some violent act by an individual is not going to inspire a mass revolt. But that's not the point. The point is, it's portraying a society where, in the name of religion and in the name of protecting people from terrorism, LGBT folks are being oppressed, Muslims are being oppressed, and the working people are being robbed, and mass media is brainwashing them to support it all. And the answer is people going out and sacrificing and taking a risk. V for Vendetta. I mean, and the communists dropped the ball at the end of with V for Vendetta. I swear, all they said about it was, oh, left adventurism, anarchism isn't the answer, left adventurism, we need a mass movement, we don't just need one hero. It's like they're missing the point. You see V for Vendetta and it's like, wow, like you want to go out. I mean, it was explosive. And what was going on at that time was the Bush administration had, and the neocons and the Bush administration had screwed up things for U.S. imperialism around the world. And so Europe was furious with them, and a section of the geostrategic wing of the ruling class was furious with them, and they were trying to foment, opposition to the neocons because they had screwed things up, and they wanted to replace them with Obama's faction, which is more geostrategic and etc. And so they were fomenting revolt against the Obama administration, or against the Biden administration, and setting the stage for Obama. And that film, I mean, it was right on point with many, many things. I mean, that if you want to talk about a movie that was politically on fire, well, there's another movie, I think it came out in like 2004, that leftists love because it's politically correct, that I don't like. Wind That Shakes the Barley. Wind That Shakes the Barley. You watch Wind That Shakes the Barley, and it is absolutely, there is not a single thing in the film I disagree with politically, right? It's about the Irish freedom struggle, how the national bourgeoisie of Ireland sold out the working class, how the Irish freedom struggle was betrayed by the Free Staters, how the Catholic Church also betrayed the Irish revolutionaries, how the revolutionaries, started fighting the British and then got betrayed and had to fight, the compradors in their own ranks. It's about how ugly revolution is, and that revolution is not a dinner party, and how, there's some pretty grim stuff about, having to execute traitors. There's like a teenage boy who, like, they find out as an informant and they execute him. And then the guy has to go tell his mother that he's executed his son for being an informant, torture. And it shows the ugly side of revolution. I don't disagree with the movie at all. I do not disagree with Wind That Shakes the Barley at all. But I don't like it. Because what do you feel like doing after you go see Wind That Shakes the Barley? I don't know, maybe committing suicide. I mean, it's like the most dark. There is no hope. The revolution's been betrayed. We're back where we started. The revolutionaries turn into the oppressors. We're back at square one. I mean, I'm all about the Irish freedom struggle, but that movie, and it won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, and it was made by a Trotskyite, Ken Loach. And Ken Loach, they've viciously gone after him, claimed he's anti-Semitic. He's not anti-Semitic. He's just a Trotskyite. He's pro-Palestine. And Ken Loach, I'm not for canceling him. He has the right to be, pro-Palestine, but it's a common theme. Almost all of his movies are like that. It's the revolution's betrayed. It's hopeless. There is no point. It's this middle class, he made a movie that's inspired by George Orwell's book about the Spanish Civil War that has that theme, and that's definitely not what happened during the Spanish Civil War. And The Wind That Shakes the Barley, I don't like it, right? Even though politically it's more correct politically than V for Vendetta, right? V for Vendetta is promoting left adventurism and individualism, not a mass movement. V for Vendetta is not raising the class question so much as opposition to a police state. And, but V for Vendetta is how you should feel after seeing a revolutionary work of art. You should walk out of the theater feeling the way I felt when I walked out of the theater, right? We need movies about the class struggle that make you walk out of the theater feeling like you did when you walked out of V for Vendetta. And we don't need movies that you walk out of the theater feeling like the way you feel when you walk out of, of The Wind That Shakes the Barley, because you just feel like shit, and the same with Land and Freedom, the movie about Spain, the same with a lot of Ken Loach movies. You end up walking out of there feeling like shit. Okay, the surface level politics are correct, but the emotions, what it inspires you to do. No one wants to become a revolutionary and an activist after watching Wind That Shakes the Barley. You want to go home and die after you watch Wind That Shakes the Barley. Whereas V for Vendetta makes you want to go out and struggle. It makes you want to go out and fight. It makes you feel like we can win, like it's all worth it and all of that. V for Vendetta, that's some good stuff.